Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the $10,000 Options Lab. The week was doing pretty good. Um, Ran into some trouble yesterday. I've been trading daily iron condors, uh, averaging about $75 a day, 75 to probably $90 a day profit. I was on about probably a 7 or 8 day win streak. The problem is I'm trading like a 13 to 14 delta. So one loss is pretty big. If you have, I'm trading XSP dollar wide strikes. So if you have a $25 win, the loss for that is 75. If you lose, when you have a $1 wide spread, the uh, the total amount's $100. So if you can make 25, that means you can lose 75. So you need at least, what would that be, a 75% win rate. I think that's right. But uh, and it had been working out, and I'm still ahead overall because my win streak started probably the middle of last week. But the loser yesterday was about 240 some dollars. I should have exited it because it was flirting right around my strike all day, and I could have got out for almost even, and I didn't. I stayed in it thinking it was going to bounce, and it didn't. Now, I went ahead and entered a trade yesterday for today's expiration, and when it got down close to the strike, I went ahead and got out. And it's actually a good thing I did. I had the 640 uh, put strike, and right now it's at 635.33. So I would have lost on it today too, unless there's a big bounce in the last 5 minutes here. Uh, but instead, I only took like a $25 loss today on it. So, um, but I started looking at some of my trades, and both on the options and the futures. The options were doing pretty good. Yesterday was just kind of, I guess, yesterday and today were kind of anomalies because we had huge drawbacks. Um, I'm trading like a 13 to 14 delta, which means 85, 80, 86, 87% of the time that's going to be a winner for me. And then had two losers in a row. But I also noticed on my future side, ever since pretty much since the Iran war started, my futures trades haven't been working as consistent. Um, and I'm starting to look at, I'm going to try to put some time in this weekend looking to see um, if VIX is over, say 23, my do my trades not work? Does my percentage go down? Um, how's it look? Is there a number? Is there a VIX number where I say, okay, I'm going to sit on the sidelines until VIX comes back down? Um, Obviously, when you're selling options, it's good to be selling options when the VIX is high, but not daily options. I think that's where I need to step back. When VIX is high, I can continue selling options, but I have to change up my game plan and not do dailies because the swings are just too big. I'm going to be looking at trading a 5 delta pretty soon to be able to cover these swings. And at a 5 delta, it's just not worth it. I can make $5 or lose $95. I'd have to have basically a 95% win rate, which is very difficult. So I think that the solution to that is buying more time or selling more time in this case. So anyway, last week, here's a screenshot when I did the video. It was $11,271. This week it's 10,674. I'm down about $600. Most of that is in SoFi. I think SoFi has dropped. I don't have it on the screenshot. I think SoFi has dropped about $1.50 or something since the video last week. And with me having 200 shares of that, plus having all these options contracts, that's what's killing my account. I did, if you look, you notice I did get out of the TSLL calls I had. I only lost about $20 on them. I had long calls. I think I sold them. I think I sold them initially for, what did I do? I sold puts, I believe. Um, I think it was for $94 and I bought them back for like 120. So lost about 25 on that. Wasn't a big deal. And it probably would have worked out. I just didn't. I don't like having the capital tied up in something that's just going down every day for weeks and weeks and weeks. Um, Part of that's mental. When you start seeing red in your account every day for a month, it weighs on you mentally. It kills your confidence. So I decided to cut that one loose, free up the cash. Not that I'm using the cash for anything else right now, but uh, I did make another change here. Let me pull up the spreadsheet or see what we did here. If you look here, uh, down, this is realized gains and profits, gains and losses. Yeah, gains and profits. It's Friday, thankfully. I'm down, what is that, $52 for the week. And that was, uh, let's see, 23rd to the 27th would have been, I closed this one out for $18 win. I closed this one out for $70 loss. This was the one that I rolled today. It expired today. It was a 1650. I could have been I could have been assigned those 1,000 shares, but I didn't want another or 100 shares. I mean, but I didn't want another 100 shares. Sure, I would like to have 100 shares at 1650, but I'm too heavy into SoFi right now, and I don't want to expose any more of my account to a trade that's just going down. Maybe we get to say $12. I might be okay with buying some there, but I just don't want to increase the account percentage of my account that's in SoFi right now. So I rolled those, and I think I did a pretty good job on rolling those. I rolled the 1650s. I sold them for 49. I bought them back for 117, but I rolled them out to June 18th expiration for $1.76. So my net was $59 credit into my account. So I received $59. Even though this was a losing trade, I would still receive $59 because the credit on this trade was $2 and I don't know 30 cents, something like that. So I netted $15 on it. My hope is, and it's a $15 strike, so my hope is that by June 18th, SoFi is above $15. This can expire worthless, and I just keep the money and get out of that. If it's still flirting around the $15 mark, I don't want to add any more shares. So I'd be looking at rolling that one again. So that's the only two trades I made in the cash secured puts or covered calls uh, or whatever you want to call it here, poor man's covered calls. The credit spreads I lost $28 this week on, 23rd to the 27th. I only had this one trade, and this was that Tesla that I sold out of. I lost $28 on it. Um, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. Um, I haven't been doing that many credit spreads lately. I've been doing mostly iron condors. So I'm okay with losing 28 and getting out of that. I do not have any credit spreads open right now. Uh, Iron condors this week, down $79. And here's why. You look at all these winners I had. I was doing pretty good here. I was actually up $199 on these trades, on my first 10 trades. Yesterday, I had the 650, 668, and it closed at like 648 or something. So that was a full loss there, $241. It was about 241. I might be off a little bit because I had to do this. I set up if you look here, I set up a formula that works for all these, but it didn't work for this one, so I did this one manually. I might have screwed something up, but it's about $241. This was the one that expired today. I closed it manually when it started getting close to my strike. Got out of it, lost $24 on it. Um, if you look at 23rd was Monday. This was the first 3 days of the week. I was up $186 Wednesday afternoon. Yesterday's wiped all that out. I'm not entering any trades today. I'm going to reevaluate this whole VIX thing and see how that goes. Uh, so that was my trades for this week. So overall, realized losses is 52 and 28. That's 80. $159 in realized losses this week in this account. Um, I did receive credit, like I said, on rolling that SoFi. That won't count until that trade's closed. So that's kind of how that looks. And if we go to my futures, oops, I just wrong one. Go to my futures here. You see, I didn't do a lot of trading this week in these accounts. I lost 305 in this one, 310 in this one. I made 538 in that one and made 131 in that one. Overall, roughly even. I'm up just barely for the week. 670 for those, minus 615. I'm up $55 for the week on futures. I don't like. You see how many losses I've had. Not so much on here because I've been really careful about what I'm trading in here. But if you look at here, this is where you see them. Uh, this is the results for this week with my different strategies. This was the only strategy that really made money, and that's one that usually doesn't make money. So, down 700, 300. This is all simulation accounts. They're all fake money accounts. So I don't pick and choose when these trade. I trade these every day so I can have the full data set to go through it. Uh, so I don't want to say I don't care if they're winners or losers because I want them to be winners. That means my strategies are working. But these don't affect my accounts. But you see, if you go back, right around here is where the war started, the whole Iran thing, and I was doing pretty good up till then. A few bad, this account didn't trade good. This one didn't trade good. I wasn't tracking this account. I was just trading it. I might go back this weekend if I have time and fill all this data in. Uh, I can do that by the history. Uh, that way I have a full story of it. But this account started at 50,000. It's now at 46, so it has its spells. But again, if you go back to the end of February, you're looking at pretty good profits there. Aside from this one, good profits there. And then, things started going south. None of them were really that good. This one was decent. That one was decent. This one, that was the only one that was decent. This week here, this was the only one that was decent. So I'm going to try to relate that to the VIX somehow and figure out what that correlation is. So if I figure it out, I'll let you guys know next week. Uh, Again, please like, subscribe, and share. I know I'm not getting many views on this. I considered not doing an update today, not doing a video because I see that there's only a handful of people looking at them and viewing them. And it was just, it's more of the same story. The market's just horrible right now. And to be honest, I don't think it's going to reverse anytime soon. The Nasdaq did hit its 10% correction, which I think I mentioned in a video about a week or so ago. So the Nasdaq did hit its 10% correction. I don't want to share this screen because it has my account number on it. I'm pulling this up on my Thinkorswim. I have QQQ high was 637.01 back on October 29th, and right now it's at 562. The 10% retracement was 573.24, so we're $11 below that. The 20% retracement is 509.44. Will we get there? I don't know. If this Iran thing continues longer, we have a good chance of getting there. SPY still has a little ways to go to get to its 10% correction. Actually, not that far. Today's was a pretty big red candle. So the high was 697.84 on uh, January 28th. 10% correction is 628.06, and it's right now at 634.18. So we're almost at 10% on SPY. If we go to futures and check NASDAQ futures NQ, the 10% correction was 23,757. We're at 23,288, so we're way below that 10% correction right now. Pretty far below that. 20% is going to be 21,119. Still a ways to go. Excuse me. And the ES futures is all right. I don't have the lines plotted out for that. Let me do some math real quick. High was 7043. 10% would be 63.3870. Let me put a line there. 63. All right. Now let me edit the properties. 63.3870. Find a zero there. Right now it's at 64.02, so we have another 64 points to drop before we hit 10% on the ES futures. 20% correction would be 7043 times 0.8, 5634.40. We got a ways to go for that one. All right, let me edit properties. It's easier for me to just type in. I put it at 5636. That was really close. I just kind of grabbed a spot and hit the button to draw the line. 5634.40. Let me rename this. 10% correction off of January 28th highs. And I put that down because sometimes when you draw more lines, that kind of gets lost, and you may, if you don't delete these lines, remove them 6 months down the road, you see 10% correction, and you don't know if it's from a year ago, 2 years ago, last week. So I put the date on there from the highs from what the date was, just so I have reference. But that's all I got for this week. At some point, the market's going to go back up. I am going to start being a lot more conservative and not trading the dailies. It did work, and I'm sure it still will work based on what I saw. And I have a family member that's also trading the same style, and he started doing these daily iron condors before me, and he has like an 85% win rate. So his were working even before I started. So I'm sure it'll work. Uh, I'm just not I'm not real thrilled about having a $250 loss after having three, I don't know what it was, $60 winners in a row. Uh, Actually, I did it. It was three in a row, but I had winners before that, so I was up from before that. So yeah, I'm going to look at some numbers here and try to figure out something better for the weekend, over the weekend, and I'll put that in next week's video what I found. And thanks everyone for watching. Yesterday morning I was thinking, hey, this is going to be a good video this week. I'm going to be able to put on there that I made a bunch of money this week, figuring I was going to have a winner yesterday and today and be up $300 for the week, and that didn't happen. So Uh, but yeah, the main goal here is protect my account. I'm more concerned. I was told by a mentor way back. Good traders think about how much they can make. Great traders think about how much they can lose. I'm more concerned about protecting my account than I am about making money in it. So I will be going more conservative. I didn't enter any new trades today other than rolling that SoFi that was going to expire today. I had to do something with it because I didn't want to buy another 100 shares. We might go down to $10 or $12 on it or something. I don't want to be paying $15 for the shares when I already have a bunch. Uh, One of the things I thought about doing was my strike was a 1650 for today's, and I thought, well, I could buy them for 1650, and that'll bring my average down, but um, I don't want to have 300 shares of it and be, my average being at, I don't know what it would be, $22, $21. Uh, so I figured I'd just roll it, take the $59 credit, and see what happens down the road. But again, thanks everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And hopefully next week's a better week. Talk to you later. Bye.